yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is a glorious day, for a great riddle has finally been solved, a mystery revealed, the last piece of the puzzle has finally unlocked the secret of why the latest MCU lump of arse, The Marvels, a movie that cost far too much, took far too long to be shot, requires that you've consumed more hours of the franchise than all 3 extended editions of The Lord of the Rings combined, with a lead that's touted as arguably the most obnoxious bent in all of Hollywood, bombed harder than Biden trying to ascend the steps at an open mic stage. Are you ready for this? Here it is. I know, you're just blown away with the I mean, let's be honest here for a moment, shall we? The movie was already gearing up to be a disaster. Every cultural commentator on this platform was gearing up with belts, whips, chains, and an endless supply of booze to mercilessly ridicule its inevitable tanking failure for all the reasons I just mentioned. I myself, who has never seen any of these movies, and I have no interest in remedying that either, by the way, could again, via pattern recognition, that's quickly becoming the catchphrase of this channel, isn't it? See, this was never going to end well, or any other way for that matter. Hell, I could look at the demographics of the director and go, oh yeah, this is definitely going to tank. Why? Simple, there is no European males, or we call them Muros from now on. But yeah, look at it. Outside of the Asian market, which is obviously full of Asians, what a surprise, everywhere else where you see a lack of the Muros, you see an endless series of tanking failures. Turns out diversity is not exactly our strength. I wonder why. So congratulations, it does seem success is built on us, because without us around, everything deteriorates into failure. And yes, I am saying it with a huge smug grin on my face. It's almost like they're making the genetic argument without anyone even saying a word. You do realize every time a diversity project inevitably tanks, the identitarian types are walking around with huge raging hard-ons, right? Your endless series of failures reaffirms what they believe. Your blunders have made people go from, this is mimetically funny to, You know, there's some questions we might have to ask here. If anyone were to ask them, why do you believe you're the best? They can just point to the inadequate failures of modern entertainment, its desecrations of all things beautiful and the subsequent dollars being set on fire and go, yeah, maybe that. But anyway, the director. I know YouTube has a policy against dehumanizing language and all of that jazz, but seriously, at what point can you call these people machines, or at the very least NPCs? Like, this whole process is now so formulaic, it's as predictable as a straight-to-voicemail phone call. It's diversity equals failure, therefore proceed to attack fans with empty political jargon. Every time, without fail. Or rather with fail, I suppose. But everyone with even a lick of sense knows this was going to be the outcome, and no one in Hollywood seems to care. Even though they attack the fans with the same old tired rhetoric, which at this point makes them seem either incredibly stupid with learning disabilities, or they're just assholes who don't care. I'm inclined to believe the former, frankly. Actually, partly both. Because you have to be an asshole to attack the fans, or you're getting paid to act like an ass as part of the PR. See, this is the problem with this kind of behavior. It's such a radical departure from any civilized norm. You're assuming some financial incentive rather than them just being stupid assholes. Because you have to look at this logically, which, given that this movie was overwhelmingly feminized, there is no chance in hell of that happening. But anyway, you have to look at it and go, why did this fail? Who is the target demographic? What do the demographic we claim to care about actually want to see? Because very evidently, it is not this kind of shit. I don't think any of them have done this for, what, about a decade now? If they did, they'd have so many movies in that time span that would never have gotten the green light to be made. The thing that I don't understand about all of this bollocks, actually there's very many things I don't understand, but let's stick to some of the main ones here. The main demographic you pander to, whilst also alienating everyone else, you're alienating the majority of the people, which is fantastic marketing, by the way, genius work there. Outrage can at best stir the drama, but it doesn't get any ass in seats, as they've discovered. Secondly, the diversity crap. These external characteristics, or playing to whatever gets your jollies off, is not reflective of who you are as a person. They're just bells and whistles. It doesn't have any substance. It's just an aspect of you, but it speaks nothing about why anyone should care about you. It's just a checklist for no other reason than a box must be ticked. Because if that's the angle you're going for, then literally anyone can replace you as long as they share the same box-ticking characteristic, which is rather depressing. I can bet you the director of the current train wreck didn't do any of that, given that when she got called out for making a failing dumpster fire, she said this: there are pockets where you go because you're like, I'm a superfan. I want to exist in the space of just adoration, which includes civilized critique. Presumably it means more,
put a ticket in and make a label gay!
She explains. Then there are pockets that are really insert smearing labels that bore my ass off, and I choose the side of the light. That's the part of fandom that I am most attracted to. That is quite the Moskov moment you have there. I want to be surrounded by nothing but ass-kissing praise because text on a screen might cause me to have a nervous breakdown. So much for that strong independent woman crap. By the way, look at this part in the Variety article bounding into comics references here. Usually, I'm not like, I like this person because I see myself, a tri-state area nerd who loves superhero and comic stuff and writes fan fiction, even though this is literally what you are, which given previous videos and patterns we've observed with women and the endless self-inserts and even how girls play with toys, no one believes any of this. And when you see the top of the article just under the headline over here, Nia DaCosta ignores the haters, otherwise known as fans if you aren't a pretentious wanker, and made the movie her teenage self would want to see. Because to hell with the fans who made the franchise successful to begin with. No, I must power my inner Shiva. So this incredibly thin-skinned, selfish woman decided to not only ignore the fans, denigrate them, produce the worst opening weekend for the franchise, all to make very expensive and badly written fan fiction. I'm trying to think of something funny to end the video on, but I don't think I can top the absurd stupidity of just that realization, so I guess that'll have to do. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.